Hello dear viewers and welcome to RTD's English News Edition, the top stories. Statement by the President of the Parliament on the results of the 70th Legislature at the National Assembly. Closing of the medical surgical caravan in Obok. It is nice to have you with us. Yesterday, the National Assembly hosted the last session of the 70th Legislature. In the plenary session, the President of the National Assembly, Mohamed Ali Hamid, has for this purpose returned to the summary of the 70th Legislature during a press release this morning. In his speech, the President of the Assembly, Mohamed Ali Hamid, indicated that the bills voted in the Assembly during the 70th Legislature are 200 bills. Some bills have been a success and are part of the history of the nation, he said. This is the most important task of the Parliament, he continued. As you know, the current state of affairs that is not part of the state is the general principle of the Parliament. We are part of the Free Party, which is not the party of the RPP Republic, and it is the first time that the jubilee of the party goes on. It is also the last in series of parliamentary elections which became one of the first in the parliament. It does not matter whether there are different parties, and it is a state testament to a level of democracies in the republic, he said. In the morning of Sunday, it is the turn of the Hospital Medical Center of Obok to host the special ceremony of closing of the activities of the medical surgical caravan, which is placed under the high patronage of the Minister of the Health, Dr. Jamal Mouki, welcomed by the Prefect of the region, Hassan Dabeli, and the President of the Regional Council, Mohamed Hamid. The Minister of Health arrived at the head of an important delegation composed of the Minister Delegate to the Decentralization, Hamidou Mohamed Aramis, the Secretary General of the Prime Minister, Naguib Abdullah, the Technical Advisor of the Prime Minister and former President of the Council, Ali Hamad, and the parliamentarians of the region, among them Hassan Hamad. It should also be noted the presence of the World Bank representative, Mr. Atusek, the representative of HR, Abdullah Berwi, and the Executive Secretary of Honors, Hussein Hassan Darar, who made the trip to attend the closing ceremony of the caravan of Obok. Thereafter, the delegation headed to the ceremony where an impressive crowd came from all around the surroundings localities to joyfully greet the Minister of Health and his guests. In fact, more than 8,000 people were consulted and 91 patients operated in the block under this caravan that will have a day of, as well as mobilized more than 30 specialized in medical. In their interventions, the Prefect of the region, Hassan Dabeli, and the President of the Council, Mohamed Hamid, have delivered the words of welcome to the Minister of Health and the delegation who accompanies him. The two responsible of the region have also transmitted the general sense of the inhabitants, who unanimously recognize the benefits of the medical surgical caravan on the health of the population. For his part, Mr. Naguib Abdullah thanked the Minister of Health for the organization of the medical surgical caravan in the Obok region. Specialized health care services have been brought closer to the population, he said. He asked the Minister to sustain and continue to organize similar caravans to improve the care of the regional population as Obok. As for the delegate minister in charge of decentralization, Mr. Hamidou Mohamed Aramis, said the following.
I would like to congratulate all the local personalities, in particularly the Yahoo village chief who contributed to the success of this medical caravan. And it is my pleasure today to be here on this occasion of the closing ceremony of the activities of the caravan, which has consulted and treated more than 8,000 people here in Obok. This strategy of health decentralization items is directly from the policy of the head of state, who called for the end of the disparity between the capital and the regions, and who constantly ordered us to provide quality specialist care to the nearest population and to the rural localities.
In his speech, the Minister of Health, Dr. Jamal Mouki, has introduced the main lines and objective of this mission of the caravan to provide specialized health care and assistance to these populations in the regions. So let's listen to him.
I would like to thank this welcoming event that you all humbly prepared. Here am I in this beautiful region of Obok to finalize the outstanding work done by the medical chirurgical caravan, who were here since 10 days to serve our citizens, and I would like to congratulate the wonderful job done by them, as well as the citizens of this region who greatly answered to the movement made by the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh.
Thereafter, the Minister of Health made a visit to the consultation rooms to meet medical specialists and inquire visually on the progress of the activities of surgical caravan in the Obok Hospital. As a reminder, this caravan has around 30 specialists and paramedical doctors. Over the past 10 days, more than 8,000 people have been consulted in these different specialties, and about 100 patients have benefited from on-site surgical operations. On the sidelines of this closing ceremony, the Minister of Health also proceeded with the delivery of equipment to the Obok Medical Center. In addition to providing a large amount of food for more than 300 of the poorest households in the region, the Minister also handed over the keys of 2 fully equipped and brand new ambulances to the Chief Medical Officer of the Tujara Hospital, Dr. Mustafa Mohammed. In addition, 15,000 mosquito nets will also be transported and distributed to all the localities to effectively control malaria in the region. And in the afternoon, the ministerial delegation led by the Minister of Health, Dr. Jan Ma'amnouki, met with the notables of the Hayu region to discuss the most important health issues that matter to them. Thus, the many wise men have expressed themselves in turn to express their views on the various subjects by formulating their multiple grievances to the members of the government. Continuing with the national news, the Minister of Health, the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud, has proceeded this morning to the official launch of the Observatory of the Quality of Teaching and Learning. More with Mandak Mahmoud.
The Minister of the National Education and Vocation Trainings, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud, proceeded this morning with the official launch of the Observation Quality Education. The launch ceremony held at the People's Palace have shown the participation of the MFAB executive and officials, starting with the Secretary General, Mr. Mohammed Abdullahi Mahyoub, the executive of the administration and figure of the civil society, but also the Executive Secretary of the Operation of Teaching Quality, Mr. Mukhalid Abdul Aziz Hassan, has presented the constitution, role and missions of this project. He recalled the context of its creation and the perceived objectives of the learning quality outcoming observation. It should be remembered that the operation of the teaching quality is an evaluative project for an executive management of the teaching quality. It is expected that the operation will also conduct scientific prospective studies to promote strategies that will help the Ministry of Education to set up indicators that will evaluate the quality of lessons learned in the MEDEF schools and training center.
And let's follow the speech of the Minister of National Education in the following.
Dear participators, our presence today is significant because we all here today motivated by one word: quality. Quality is the permanent universal code researched by the world. Quality is what, after now, our President of the Republic wants to define our educational system. Quality should define our economy and the social economy interaction of our young people. The creation of this department that wished to the educational quality of our country is a significant event. It is the aim of the President of the Republic to make a quality education the backbone of our society development.
The Minister of Energy, Yonis Ali Gedi, received this morning the new ambassador of Japan to Djibouti, Koshi Yonatani. The discussions focus on presentation of cooperation between Djibouti and Japan, especially in the field of energy. They also refer to the friendship relations that exist between the two countries on the whole plan in sustainable development. The Energy Minister Yonis Ali Gedi welcomed the new Japanese ambassador and wished him success in his diplomatic mission in the country and assured him of his permanent presence to facilitate the talks. The Independent National Electoral Commission conducted an inspection tour in Obok and Tejoro regions under the head of its President Dini Mohamed Burhan. The members of the CENI and its President first began this tour of control of the preparations for the future parliamentary elections of 2018 in Obok. Then CENI headed to Tejora, where it was welcomed by the Prefect of Tejora. They have seen in first hand the good progress of the preparatory operations of the future legislative elections of 2018. Last Saturday morning, under the auspices of the State Secretary for Youth and Sports, took place in the multipurpose room of the Hassan Guled Stadium an important meeting of consultation and reflection. This meeting, which brought together on this spot all the members of the organizing committee, preparations for the national dialogue with youth, and more than 400 young representatives of the areas of the capital and regions of interior, marked in the last meeting a step to incorporate the reflections, grievances, and recommendations made by young people throughout the 43 previous meetings. The first Vice President of the Organizing Committee, Mr. Mahdi Mahmoud Isse, opened the session, highlighting the objectives and aims of this last meeting in anticipation of the National Youth Conference decided by His Excellency the President of the Republic. For all the members of the Organizing Committee, it was a question of restoring and harmonizing the grievances and recommendations made during the last meetings with the young people within the framework of the national dialogue, transcending all the statutory, tribal affiliations, ethnic delimitation, or political.
Here today, because when I was coming, I did not think that my being here would have an impact on my day and on my way of living and how I pursue the country. But as I figure out, our government is trying his best and its best, so I'm very pleased. I would like to say to the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, a big thanks for all the efforts the government is doing to upgrade the standards of youth in our country. So that's all for my intervention. Thank you so much.
The representative of King Salman Humanitarian Center and Relief Center, Dr. Abdullah Saleh Al-Mualim, Director of the Department of Medical Assistance and Environment, the Director of Al-Rahma Hospital, Dr. Muhammad Al-Sharkawi, signed the financing agreement with Hospital Al-Rahma in charge of medical care and follow-up, including surgery for Yemeni refugees for the camp Markazi in Obok. In an interview on this occasion, the Director of the Department of Medical and Environmental Assistance of the King Salman, Dr. Abdullah Saleh Al-Mualim, said that this action falls within the framework of the assistance provided by King Salman in favor of Yemeni refugees in Djibouti. Obituary: we learn with sadness the death of a great wise man from the Tejoro region. The deceased late Gayle Abubakar died this morning at the dwelling near Segalu in the Tejoro region. The deceased was a well-known and respected personality throughout the Lake Assar region in Dulul. He leaves behind him a large family, including 4 children and 32 grandchildren. He was the father of the Minister of the Presidency in charge of the investments, Mr. Ali Gayle Abubakar. Very saddened by the disappearance of the late Gayle Abubakar, Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed sent his condolences to the family of the deceased and in particular to his son Ali Gayle, Minister of the Presidency, the Minister of Housing Musa Muhammad Ahmed, Deputy Minister for Decentralization Hamidou Mohamed Aramis, addressed their most saddened condolences to the family of the late Gayle Abubakar. In addition, the ambassadors of Djibouti in Germany and in Japan, Aden Mohamed Dileita and Ahmed Araita, the ambassador of Djibouti in Russia, Dr. Mohamed Ali Kamil, President of the party Fred Ali Mohamed Daoud, the Prefect of Dihil Mohamed Sheikh Hassan, the technical advisors Baroketa Saeed and Mr. Abdul Qadir Udum, the parliamentarian Fatuma Kamil, offered their most heartfelt condolences condolences to the family of the late Gele, in particular his son Ali Gele, Minister to the Presidency in charge of investments. In these painful circumstances, the management and the entire staff of the RTD share the pain of the family of the late Gele Abubakar, or pray the good God to welcome him to his eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. It is here we end this edition. Thank you for joining us on RTD and have a good night.